All right, welcome back to Fleck Socks, the podcast, episode 257. Today on the show, judges are being arrested and the Rachel Maddows of the world are not happy about it. Then, Shadeur Sanders had a very traumatic weekend after getting drafted to the NFL slightly later than expected. Some people think it's signs of racism. Then, Joy Reid blames whites for the downfall of Europe and the United States. We'll tell you who really did it. And last but not least, in Cringe of the Week, we show you some trans joy, followed by a bad fast food workers section that you're not going to want to miss. All this and more is Fleck Talks, the podcast, episode 257, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck Talks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grabboy. All right, 1 for 1 on the intro, as always. Guys, our country just witnessed Donald Trump overcome political persecution, an assassination attempt, and the entire deep state in order to regain the presidency in a historic victory. There's one secret ingredient that allowed Trump to do all of this, and that is testosterone. What most people don't realize is testosterone makes men willing and eager to take on challenges, but sadly, too many of us have lost our fight, and that's exactly how the globalists want us. They want us weak, out of shape, and full of microplastics and estrogen with low T. That's why we've decided to partner with Chalk. Chalk offers a whole lineup of products formulated to increase your energy, focus, detoxify your body, and clinically studied boost your testosterone. Ingredients in the Chalk Male Vitality Stack have been clinically studied to boost free testosterone by 87% in just 21 days. Unlike the gimmicky vegetable pills or powder, you will feel the difference, and they have the clinical studies to back it up. And right now, you can get 25% off of your Chalk subscription for life. Just go to chalk.com, CHOQ.com, and use promo code FLECKUS. And the best part, you can cancel easily at any time. Chalk is made in America, and their all-American customer service team is standing by and ready to assist you. Let's make male vitality great again. Get your Chalk today. CHOQ.com is the website, promo code FLECKUS. And you could also call them at 50-CHALK-3000. Everything is linked in the description. Thank you to Chalk for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Chalk for sponsoring.
Thank you, Chalk.
Thank you, Chalk. All right. How's everyone doing? My voice is a little messed up today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I'm going to explain what happened in Bonus Land. I'll tell you everyone what happened.
Okay.
The voice is gone, but I'm going to power through it. I'm playing hurt. You know me. We're not going to miss a show. All right. Happy Tuesday, Richard.
Thank you.
Did you have a nice weekend?
I did. It was lovely.
Good. Good. Did you see the script and how packed it is?
Yeah, well, I've seen the assets. We've talked about a lot of them. It's a very packed show.
We got a big one today, and I don't want to say we're going to go the longest we've ever gone because I don't necessarily want to do that, but we're going to be over an hour 30, I think.
It's you're obsessed with the time. It really doesn't matter, but a lot of stuff happened over the weekend, I would say.
Yeah, a lot to get to. So we're going to have a little pace through housekeeping, nothing crazy. Our first story, there's a major power outage in Europe, in Spain and France especially. Can you read that headline?
I thought it was more Spain and Portugal, but it says 6 days after celebrating 100% renewable power, Spain blames rare atmospheric phenomenon for nation's largest blackout in history.
Yeah, 6 days after, and then everything went to zero.
Yeah.
Oops.
I hope you didn't import a bunch of third worlders who know that the security cameras are off at this point.
And that's what I think is going to happen. I think the migrants are going to go crazy. Someone was tweeting about it, and he was alluding to that as well. Can you read most of that?
Yeah, he was a little harsh, so these are his words, not ours. But, you know, we are reading it on the show. Spain is about to declare martial law in response to the power outages that are happening in their country. If you had kept your country homogenous and not imported millions of sub-Saharan migrants, you wouldn't need martial law because of a power outage. People would assist one another and help each other out. The Spanish people are a remarkable people and resilient. But since you have these parasitic subhuman migrants running around, that's where I would use some different verbiage. You now have to worry about them looting, robbing, and raping everything they see. The CCTV cameras are out, and they're getting all their masculine urges out on everyone they see passing. They know they'll never be caught.
So that's scary.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a European and the power goes out and the police aren't really responsive. That's when things get a little ugly at night.
Yeah, and the initial stuff that's happening, like the surge on the grocery stores and scavenging for batteries and all that sort of stuff happens early. The crimes come day 3, day 4.
Yeah, when we're getting into it. And then also when it comes to this, I think bigger picture, if you have a little bit more of a conspiracy mindset like I have, this is like them beta testing the power grid going out in a different place before they do it in America. And then here's where I take it to the next level and let you guys cook on this. I also heard a rumor that all of the AI companies are racing to get to AGI, which is like the next level of AI, which is more independent AI and like self-sufficient AI. And apparently AGI is the AI that's going to like kill the humans.
Okay.
And it's going to attack our power grid. It's going to set off our nukes. It's kind of like what the story of Terminator was based on. So you guys need to be watching Terminator. You need to be watching the most recent Mission Impossibles, and you need to be armoring your Hummers.
Okay, smart. Good advice, practical for all of you out there with a new Hummer H2 that you spent money on that you didn't need to spend. You got to armor that thing. I know.
He just said it.
Duh.
I'm going to do what Richard Rappaway said. And also keep in mind when you have an event that could be coming, like this AI power shutdown, kill half the planet's people. When AI does that, it's a robot. It's not even a person. So it's almost like a perfect patsy or a fall guy.
Yeah.
Where you can kill everybody and go, oh, the AI set off the nukes because it was scared that humans were going to destroy the planet because of climate change. Or the AI destroyed the power grid because of climate change, and then blah, blah, and it kind of like
told the AI about the climate change. We told the AI everything, like how bad it was. AI hates Trump. All
exactly.
These things. Yeah.
So it gets to a point where like it's almost the perfect fall guy, not a person. It's a program. What can we do? It set off the nukes. Oops.
It's funny because I actually lean away from that. I just see like general infrastructure incompetence happening. Like Spain and Portugal, it'll probably take longer to get the power back on than it would have in 1982. Mm-hmm. We're just at that level of like, oh, gee, these infrastructure projects got extremely complicated and the last 10 guys who knew how to really run it, they all retired. And I think it's just a level of incompetence, but we'll see. Could be somewhere in the middle between AI supervillain story and incompetence.
A lot of the movies, a lot of the Netflix, a lot of the Hulu stuff, it's all about the power going out.
EMP technology, going out.
All right, we can't get bogged down. This next one's a quick story. Trump went to the Pope's funeral at the Vatican. There's a headline, everyone's supposed to wear black, and Trump wore a blue suit. But then you zoom out, there's plenty of people in a blue suit. Even one of the people in the front that are in the thumbnail picture for the article, that guy was actually wearing a blue suit, and they kind of photoshopped it.
They edited it, yeah.
So they changed it. So, caught you.
Yeah, and I guess that means the headlines about migrants being deported and, he deported a 2-year-old to Honduras. I guess that means they're not working. If they're attacking his suit colors,
yeah,
they're not really moving the needle. So it's good to see.
Exactly. All right, our next story is very interesting, especially following the Disney debacle of Snow White. Mm-hmm. Disney puts Tangled live action on hold after Snow White backlash. Francesca something Rivers was reportedly cast as Rapunzel.
Yeah. And
Rapunzel.
And I believe this is the same woman who was opposite of Tom Holland in that Romeo and Juliet, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou?
Yeah, I think it is.
So it's the same cast member. And she can't catch a break. They keep shoehorning her in, and it's not really her fault, but it sure is stupid, and it sure is easy to get upset at Disney for trying to jam a black person into an old German fairy tale?
Yeah. Yo, Rapunzel. Let down your hair for real. I'ma climb it.
Yo, Rapunzel, I'm finna climb the hair. Your auntie ain't around, is she?
Oh, she having a party?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll come back later.
Chirp. And it's actually funny because I think in the original Rapunzel story, the guy is a thief who runs into and finds Rapunzel.
They're going to have to change that.
So, yeah, he's going to be a doctor now instead.
All right, that was going to be another one that's going to flop and no one's going to see, and they're going to say, racism again. Yep. Next, we have a little bit of an...
After we just do the most racist bits we have, sure.
Oh, they're going to say it anyway.
I mean, just stop trying to race swap people. Just stop. It's not a winning formula. I don't know who the person is. Disney has a Bud Light marketing woman somewhere who just keeps doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it all... Her and Bob Iger, they plan together.
And they just want to destroy and subvert whatever traditions we had.
Yeah.
It's very disrespectful. Mm-hmm. All right, we have an update from Kristi Noem, our DHS head who had her purse snatched.
Yep.
Remember we said it was a white guy with a mask?
That was the initial reporting.
Turns out it was an illegal migrant.
Illegal migrant accused of snatching Kristi Noem's Gucci bag, identified as serial criminal from Chile.
Wow. And that's like very ironic that the head of our Department of Homeland Security was robbed by an illegal. That's like perfectly ironic.
That should light a fire under her ass. Like, holy shit, the problem's insane. We really got to get him out. And this guy came in on camera. He looked like a pro. Like he scoped the room out. He did his thing and he kind of like tucked it under, walked right out. So he had a long rap sheet. And of course, he will be getting deported now, which is a hilarious way to get deported. You really step in it if you rob the head of DHS's purse.
Yeah.
Should have stuck with Macy's, brother.
Yeah. And then CNN will say, DC father of 4 deported after incident with Kristi Noem. Yeah. And then we have an update, too. Adam Schiff had his purse stolen as well.
We're going to have to address people's legitimate concerns about crime. I was in South San Francisco 2 years ago after I had an experience in the city that all too many people had. When my luggage was stolen out of my car, they tell you don't ever leave your luggage in the car. I never do until the one time I did. And of course, it got stolen. And what was most memorable about the experience for me is I went to this Target in South San Francisco, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm getting the toiletries I'm going to need for my next 2 days in the city. I had to get the clerk, which is hard to find, to unlock the shampoo or the whatever. So that's one thing. And then I get to the cashier. The cashier asked me if I want one of those Target bags with a little bullseye on it. And I said, yes, that Target bag is going to be my luggage for the next 2 days. And she asked me what happened, and I told her. And she basically said, in not so many words, yeah, Democrats are assholes.
Okay. So politicians are feeling the heat in terms of the issues that they cause. Kristi Noem, not so much. She's always been a deporter. Mm-hmm. But it's very interesting to see these high-level people, and he acts like it's a foreign thing. I had to ask the attendant to unlock the shampoo. And it's like, yeah, everybody in San Francisco does that every day.
And they're catching on to who's responsible and why things are the way they are. Mm-hmm. Democrats suck or Democrats are assholes, or whatever he said. Yep. And keep in mind, if it happens to these people who hold the highest offices in the entire world, for every Adam Schiff getting his purse snatched, there's 1,000 regular people dealing with something that doesn't get the attention.
Absolutely.
So keep that in mind. It's like a canary in the coal mine. If it happens to these people often in the last 2 weeks, it's happening to everybody always.
And broadly speaking, the trend that I'm seeing, that was on Bill Maher's show, who Bill Maher met with Trump recently. He's kind of trying to be more centrist and all that. It seems like Democrats, to me, are shifting to we're totally reasonable.
Yeah.
And they're really just gearing up to win the next election. They're gearing up to try to position themselves like what we've seen with Gavin Newsom doing the podcast tour, what we're seeing here with Adam Schiff. I'm a totally reasonable guy. I just happen to oversee the total demise of all the major metropolitan areas in California, right?
Hey, why is this stuff locked up?
Yeah. And it's really, really dumb. So, I mean, people who watch our show, they know not to fall for it. But it's an interesting play. And it's like they're in jiu-jitsu. They're on their back, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're kind of on their heels. So they have to change something, and this is it.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's move on to our next segment. As you guys know, pepper spray season is in full effect. Yep. And here we have some show watchers who are using the pepper spray technique.
No. Back.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that pepper spray on him right there. That was a pit bull, and I'm sorry I had to do that, but he was going to try to bite me. So
There you go. Pitbull. That's a perfect way to use it. Even if they're not coming near you.
Yeah, you go out of your way, spray Pitbull.
What kind of dog is that?
Pitbull plus pepper spray season is actually perfect. And then that's all you're looking to do. You're looking to de-escalate. You don't have to go talk to anyone. You just move about your business, right?
Exactly. But unfortunately, some of our bad show watchers have learned the technique as well.
Yeah, some of our show watchers who watch Urban Decay to learn new hacks and Cash App scams and shit like that. There is a segment of the viewership who does this.
Gotta be honest.
These guys are stealing liquor. Offensive pepper spray.
Was that pepper spray?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Some bad show watchers, and instead of shooting someone over sneakers, we could lower the stakes a little bit and use less lethal force to avoid some strict repercussions and shit.
Yeah, these guys are white, right?
Yeah, I know. I just say what I think it sounds like.
What a criminal would sound like. Okay, yeah. So there's offensive pepper spray in a bad way when you're stealing liquor in a Seattle liquor store.
Yep, exactly. All right, our next story is also an update. The Black Hawk pilot that crashed a few months ago at this point was the woman pilot, and we guessed it was a DEI situation. It turns out that's exactly right. Can you read that headline?
Yeah, the New York Times came up with this big article about it. The New York Times story on the January D.C. plane crash hides its takeaway until the last sentences. The lady helicopter pilot ignored multiple warnings from her right seat about altitude and his directly telling her to turn away, and then flew straight into a passenger jet. And the title of the article, which is supposed to reveal all these findings, says, "Missteps, equipment problems, and a common but risky practice led to a fatal crash."
Yeah, the risky practice was putting in the woman driver and having her listen to a male authority figure.
Yeah, female pilot.
Who told her collision course. And I'm sure it was like collision course. And then she's like, as a woman pilot, I know what it means to overcome obstacles and not taking no for an answer in my journey to become.
Yeah, she's all over the recruiting materials for the Navy, like be a woman pilot. And then now she's dead. And that was fucked up. That was like the most violent, deadly plane crash since I think 2001. 67 people died. Like a teenage girl figure skating team, and all their parents were on that plane.
Horrible.
So it's like we're mocking and making fun of like the stupid shit to get a woman into the pilot seat, but there are real life consequences to some of these decisions that are being made. And was she qualified? Was she pushed through? Was she specifically recruited? We don't know all those details, but it just doesn't seem right.
I think when a woman is climbing the ranks in a situation like this, even if she's like close to qualified, it's like, yep, get Kathy through. Mm-hmm. That she's the hitter. We need a woman out of all the 50 guys we got. We need a woman in there. So whether she had it in her or not, or was qualified or not, it's like she's gonna be a pilot.
Yeah,
that's scary. All right, our next story isn't as scary. AOC looks like they're kind of gearing up to run her for president based on some posts and some videos and just how they present her with the camera angles and stuff. Check this out.
Idaho, I am so touched being here. I'm a girl from the Bronx. To be welcomed here in this state, all of us together, seeing our common cause, this is what this country is all about. Don't let them trick us into thinking we are enemies.
So if she's thinking about running, please do. Maybe Jasmine Crockett as a VP.
She's going on this tour with Bernie Sanders. So it's her and this ancient old guy who's been singing the same tune for so many years, right?
And he's 80-something.
He's really old.
So then at the end of Trump's term, plus 4 years, I don't know his age, but I'm pretty sure he'd be in his 90s.
He might be dedd.
Yeah, so I don't think it's him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to kind of hand off the left-wing populist movement to her, baton handoff, and then she, with maybe Jasmine Crockett, can get on a ticket somehow.
Yeah, call it the Girl Power Tour. Call it, the Get Loud Tour.
The Get Loud Tour.
Yeah, I would like to see it. And I don't know who, that's the thing, too, because what I mentioned with Adam Schiff, Gavin Newsom kind of pretending they're centrist thing. There's clearly a division. And if AOC is gearing up for some sort of presidential run, she's clearly the more progressive side of the Democrat Party, whereas some of the, more less progressive in the Democrat Party are coming more towards the center. So I think there's a battle, and I think Democrats are directionless right now, and there is a power grab. So AOC is making her lunge at the baton, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, going to Idaho. They went to Idaho.
Yeah,
the progressives in Idaho.
Yeah, lots of support there. And everyone who is supporting is probably like recently moved from California.
Bust in. You know how they do it.
Exactly. And then someone tweeted, I'm not kidding, when a substantial plank of the next Democratic Party platform needs to be, quote, we will throw the current administration in jail if they want to win.
Yeah.
Guys, you already did that.
You already did that whole thing, and then Trump won every fucking swing state. It's unbelievable.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? You literally already arrested him multiple times, and his supporters and his lawyers. Like, you already did that. You already ran that course.
I know. And this tweet was after some of the judge headlines that we're going to get to soon. But yeah, crazy to, you forgot that? That was 7 months ago. That was like not even far back.
Yes, which takes us to our judge section. There's been another judge who was arrested. Can you read what happened? Hannah Dugan?
Yeah, Hannah Dugan, a Milwaukee County Circuit judge, has been arrested by the FBI after she reportedly helped an illegal alien evade arrest. Dugan allegedly misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse. Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. She has been charged with obstructing the arrest of an illegal alien, and here she is in her mask, where she has a mask over Abraham Lincoln, so you know what type of lady she is.
Yeah, she's arrested.
And basically the story goes that these ICE-type guys came in, and they had a warrant, and then she was like, oh, you don't have a judicial warrant. You have another type of warrant. You need to go talk to this person. And then she let the illegal immigrant go through a jury door that led to a non-public area of the courthouse. And then the ICE guys chased him down on foot anyway.
And she gets arrested.
So she gets arrested. They chased him down on foot, and the guy was there for misdemeanor domestic abuse. So this judge is laying her reputation on the line, misdirecting people for a domestic abuser, illegal immigrant, right?
That's like perfectly sums up what we're dealing with.
And so whether or not she gets convicted or faces any serious repercussions, this is kind of a message we need to be sending to the Democratic politicians who are kind of interfering with illegals being deported. Even if she beats this case or whatever, it's a headache. You're charged with something, you're going to fight, and we need to be using it as like a dissuading factor for people who would otherwise step in. You know, the fat people who we showed in last week's Cringe of the Week, like, are you going to step in front of ICE? Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore after I saw what happened to the judge, right? So and there's a couple other illegal immigrant things that we're going to say that are kind of chilling factors for them over the course. But let's get back to the judges, I guess.
Yep. And then there was like a definition of treason for judges. Can you give that a read?
Whenever a judge acts where he or she does not have jurisdiction to act, the judge is engaged in an act or acts of treason.
So that's letting the guy out the door.
Yeah.
Treason. I don't even want to say what happens to people who do treason. That's the worst one.
Go look at our history. So what happens to treasonous people?
That judge may be facing a treason charge for letting out the illegal immigrant domestic abuser out the back door of a building.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. And then Judge Kano, who we covered on our last episode, the guy who was taking pictures with Trend Agua. Him and his wife got arrested as well for harboring them.
And one thing we didn't really cover was like there were videos of that judge like handing this guy like an assault rifle, handing him a gun and being like, here, play with this, hold this. So it was crazy. But yeah, they harbored a TDA gang member at home. There's a picture of them getting arrested. But good, you know, these are the kind of things that the left really gets into an uproar about. That's where that earlier tweet came from, where the guy's like, we need to arrest everybody, arrest Trump. We need to run on that. They get really worked up, but because they're getting really worked up, the message spreads on their side that if you fuck with illegal immigrants or harbor them or do something, you can really get arrested.
So then like your genuine support goes down and like boils down to only like real radicals. Mm-hmm. And then that's who gets dealt with. Like that's who gets arrested. That's who gets wrapped up into issues.
Yep.
We have some before and afters from Rachel Maddow from 2023 to 24 to 25.
Nobody's above the law. We only have one system of law for everyone. Nothing about being an elected official gives you a license to commit crimes or a license to get away with it if you do. Why step up politically and defend a judge or a prosecutor? That's supposed to be a non-political part of our system. It's not like we didn't know it was going to be terrible. And it is terrible. He really did have a judge arrested today. Arresting a judge today.
I really love when that happens.
And every single talking point when they were arresting and prosecuting and going after Trump was no one is above the law. No one is above the law. And they all have tweets saying it. So
and then we had to go, yeah, I guess
we'll fight it out. I don't think you have a case. Those type of things.
Yeah,
where's the crime?
It's a bullshit charge, but I guess you're right. No one's above the law. And then now we actually are acting on that same sentiment, and they get all upset. And we have all the receipts. That's the nice part, too. If you went back to, say, episode 100 or episode 20 or 150, whatever we're talking about ended up coming true. Like, you don't have receipts on us being like, oh, these illegals aren't so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, this
so true.
Don't worry about this trans stuff. It's probably
nothing.
They're just normal people.
Yeah, they're not grooming kids. They're definitely not doing that.
So like when you watch our old stuff, it ended up aging very well. And then Rachel Maddow, it's like you have to count on your audience forgetting what you said 6 months ago.
Yeah, and honestly, the audience will, as that tweet where the guy said we need to arrest him
I think there is no audience.
I actually was walking on a treadmill next to this old lady who has like a hunchback lurch, like she's like old and is walking to like maintain her health. And she puts on MSNBC on the treadmill on her phone and she watches it with no headphones. She's glued to it. And it's like Chris Hayes on MSNBC and she's like hunched over, walking, getting her exercise. Good for her. But like, I'm talking old.
That's
old lady.
impressive.
I know. So
there's people who watch.
There's real people out there.
That's crazy. And then Harrison Smith.
And those are the ones who come to the protests and they go in Idaho. They're the old white people at those like hands off my democracy things. They're hooked. They're glued to that shit.
They're all swept up in it.
Yeah. And then it's so funny because those types of people, one of their main talking points is like, well, why don't you go watch Fox News to like right wingers? It's like, bro, I'm on Twitter. I'm just like reading stories. I don't listen to Fox. I haven't had Fox News on in 2 years. Election night.
Yeah, Hannity's still pissed, I bet. Every day. Disgraced former FBI director.
Yeah.
So Hannity's still probably cooking, but yeah, I don't watch Fox either. Ever since, Tucker, I used to watch Tucker, and ever since he left, I haven't really put Fox back on.
Yeah, but some of these people are legitimately glued to MSNBC.
That's wild. And then Harrison Smith from InfoWars made a good point about the arrests from either side.
He said, you can't arrest. Gay hairdressers, even if they are in Tren de Aragua. Maryland men, even if they are in MS-13. Judges, even if they break the law. That's the example we're talking about. People who you can arrest. Presidents, Trump, even if they didn't commit a crime. Lawyers, if they defend the president. Rudy Giuliani types. Grandmothers, if they protest abortion. Disabled vets, if they protest the election. People who make memes.
So that's the big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have some people on our side too who are going to jail, and we have to be fair.
Yeah.
Can you read that?
Yeah. AF Post.
Can you read the full?
Homosexual ex-congressman George Santos has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for fraud. That seems like a unnecessary descriptor.
Yeah, descriptor. But it seems like a lot. 7 years for the fraud. And then especially when they had SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, give all that money to the Democrats and then didn't really, he's in jail, but like anyone who participated in that operation didn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think George Santos, if you're watching, maybe you are, I think you should go on the run. And then before you leave, call Trump and say, don't chase me, chief.
Yeah.
And just go.
Yeah.
And just go to Costa Rica, go to El Salvador.
7 years, first time offense, you know? I don't think George Santos had any trouble with the law before this. You go to 7 years in federal jail?
What did he do?
Yeah.
Just get out of the country, George. Go to Tulum. Enjoy yourself.
All right.
Next, we have another person who should be arrested, the New Jersey Governor Murphy. Listen to what he says.
Talking about, I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
It's at his house. It sounds like it's in the garage. Above, there seems to be some sort of apartment or external structure. That's where the illegals are at.
Tom Homan, there is an illegal there. He's daring you to come in. And this is the kind of stupidity and arrogance that we need to really stamp out, because this is kind of like a virtue signal thing to other Democrats. Like, yeah, I scoff at federal law enforcement.
So did that judge.
It's like, we're going to raid your whole house. We're going to raid everything. We're going to go through your shit because you admitted it on an interview on stage somewhere, right?
Yeah, I hope.
So,
all right, our next story, we're going to go fast through this because it's an update, but there's not much else. Virginia Guthrie, one of the whistleblowers, one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, killed herself.
Yeah.
Even though she also put on social media that she was not in any way suicidal.
Go figure.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Epstein files, we've talked about this, obviously, when they had the whole Bindergate situation. I don't think they're coming out.
Yeah.
Like everyone I talked to Raheem the other day. I'm like, hey, Raheem, you think these files are coming out? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, they're not coming out.
Where are they? The Southern District of New York, just hoarded somewhere, unable to be gotten?
I don't even, if they have them, they destroyed them. Like, I don't even think there's files anymore.
Yeah.
And then Stephen King, he was chiming in because people were saying, oh, this woman killed herself. Like, Virginia Guthrie didn't kill herself. First, let's read her tweet just to...
She said, I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted.
So it doesn't sound like she was suicidal.
Yeah, but that was from 2019, too.
Maybe she got a little upset.
I don't know.
And then...
That's not like the week before.
Yeah.
It's still something. It's not nothing.
And if you're a victim of this horrible abuse, you could have mental problems that would make you suicidal. So I can see both sides.
For sure.
I'm a normal guy.
You're a regular guy.
I'm
totally
a normal, rational.
The AI power outage, AIP.
Yeah. Way a normal amount.
Yeah.
And then Stephen King replied to someone calling out the suicide and how it doesn't make sense. And he said, hard to believe anyone believes your bullshit to cat turd.
Uh-huh.
What a weird thing to say, Stephen King.
Yeah.
What a weird thing. Why would you take the other side of Jeffrey Epstein's suicide people?
Yeah. And Stephen King's got one of those sick minds where there's some characters in his book do some fucked up things. And you're like, Stephen King, you're constantly thinking about that?
How did you think that
What
up?
are you up to over there?
All right, let's go through quick. Our next section is the Shadeur Sanders section. Obviously, you guys have seen the headlines and what happened. He was supposed to get drafted in the first round, ended up getting drafted in the third round.
I think like fourth
round.
He's Deion Sanders' son. He's a very loudmouth, flashy college football player who declared for the NFL draft. This is for people who really don't know anything. And he was supposedly, all the analysts thought he was going to be some sort of top pick, and all the teams passed on him multiple times for multiple rounds.
And
right?
he's very flashy, like you said. Like he's always building his brand as opposed to being like a hard-nosed football player who wants to get better at football. That's like a big difference. He's like on TV. He drives a Rolls Royce. He's got the jewelry. And he's kind of
He does this with his watch, like in his football uniform on the sideline. There's been quotes and interviews of him where he's like blamed his O-line basically after a loss. Big no-no.
He's like a baby Gronk as an adult.
Yeah, as a 21-year-old.
He's an adult baby Gronk. And everyone, and also people are saying that he's not even that good of a player. Like he wouldn't have started at a lot of the SEC schools. And then he's not that smart based on how I see him talk and communicate. And I don't think he's coachable.
Yeah.
So if you're not coachable, that's what the NFL guys, they don't need like a baby Gronk. They need a coachable player that wants to get better. And it's like, hey, Shadeur, you're not going to start this week. We think it'd be better if you were at the second string. He go, shit, I'm the coach.
Yeah, I'm going to tweet something out. My dad's going to say something. And then it'll cause like a media shitstorm around your team. So I think there are several reasons, arrogance, flamboyance, media attention, why teams kind of passed on him and he fell, right?
Yep. Do you want to show that first clip? Is that worth it? Is that going to... Yeah.
I don't care.
We can go right to Tariq Nasheed.
Let's just... This is the tone. So the tone while he's slipping, because this happens over 4 days or 3 days, the tone is, this is happening, this is racism. This is a problem. So let's...
Someone like Shadeur Sanders, because he talk a certain way and because he wears gold chains and his pops is Dion and he don't want to submit to y'all white shit, he's gonna slip in the draft. And you're telling me it's based on the evaluation. Like, you didn't watch the games and watch him play and see him play.
Yeah, it's racism.
So that's Jamal Bowman on some white shit. He lost his re-election. He's no longer a congressman.
He's just a guy.
Yep.
But yeah, he's making it like it's a race thing, even though so many players in the first round were black. So many people in the NFL are obviously black.
The first quarterback picked in the NFL draft was a black guy, Cam Ward, different black guy.
And then keep in mind too, Shadeur Sanders didn't do the NFL draft. I mean, the NFL Combine.
Yeah, he sat out.
He didn't do the Combine. He thought he was too good to do the Combine. My tape speaks for itself. Well, clearly it doesn't. You're not good enough to have that angle, and now you're getting passed up. Like your bluff got called.
Yep.
Tariq Nasheed, let's go fast through this.
The real reason why the NFL is doing this racial ritual with stalling Shadeur Sanders' draft is because they need a white benevolence narrative to squeeze out of it. The ideal NFL draftee is a black youth sitting on a rent-a-center sofa in the projects with his single mother, waiting on a team to pick him. Shadeur Sanders don't give these optics, and that's the real issue.
Then someone replied and had an interesting point. Can you read that?
They said, race has zero to do with it. Based on his actions, I think it's fairly obvious that he is viewed as being high maintenance, evidenced by how flashy he already is. It's easy to get that opinion of a young man when he's driving a Rolls Royce around his college campus. And then Tariq Nasheed says, then you just proved it was about race.
Because is that what black people do? They drive a Rolls Royce and they're flashy and obnoxious?
That's the thing. This whole Shadeur Sanders thing, this guy is like almost not even arguably arrogant, loud, flashy, like a Muhammad Ali personality type where he's just going crazy, cocky, arrogance. And then these black people who are calling it racism are all kind of implicitly saying that, like, yeah, being a loudmouth showboat is at least one piece of our culture.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. The people who run the NFL teams and the coaches don't like him. There's also a lot of black coaches in the NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tomlin didn't like him.
Yeah.
But that sort of implicit admission that, like, yeah, just a certain percentage of our group is cocky, loud, materialist, flashy, talk shit and show a watch to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very interesting admission.
And then we have some responses too, like what happened and why he didn't get drafted. The Giants reportedly gave up on Shadeur Sanders when he was unprepared for a meeting. DeBoll called him out, and it did not go well from there.
Yeah, dabble.
So that happened. Mm-hmm. And then someone said, sitting out of the combine and ducking every NFL GM outside the top 5 cost Shadeur $20 million. That's true.
That was another part of it. He refused to interview with some teams, had his little entourage around. It's just like an insane person who has a weird ego thing. And then some teams were just like, yeah, I'll not do it.
Yeah. Right. And then can you read this one?
An NFL assistant coach on Shadeur Sanders said, the worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good.
That'll do it.
Yeah, so.
And then, Matt Walsh had a good point, too. He said, sports media personalities are treating a rich, spoiled kid getting drafted a few rounds later than expected like it's a national tragedy. This is ESPN's 9/11. They'll never get over the trauma. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, too, with ESPN shifting over the last, 5 to 10 years and just having black woman analysts. You know, we've been at the gym watching ESPN or random places, a restaurant, ESPN's on, and it's 4 black people talking. They've gotten to the point where they're overrepresented now. Mm-hmm. So now the entire thing on ESPN is caring about race, and then this is obviously a huge example. So it's the machine is now perpetuating this, right?
Yep. And then we'll finish this fast. There was a prank call. So during the draft, before he got drafted, a kid prank called him from Ole Miss and said, oh, you're going to have to keep waiting. Sorry. And it was a prank call.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
And other guys in the draft got prank called too. That happens every year. And then NFL opening investigation into Shadeur Sanders' prank call. And then the kid had to apologize all over social media.
On Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shadeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry that I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. It goes
Pussy.
On. Yeah.
Why do you apologize? You made a fucking prank call.
You're 21. You're in college. You're with your frat bros in a shitty room. You pranked them.
That was sick.
Tall.
It was fucking hilarious.
It was so good. Stand tall.
And everyone's covering this. There's an investigation. This is like so traumatic and so bad, and it's racist. A black man has to go through this.
He got the number from his dad, who was like a defensive coordinator. The story is he got it from like an open iPad that he saw it.
And I'm sure that dad's going to get in trouble.
Something.
And all this stuff. This is like this big traumatic event. It's like evidence of all these problems and all these black people go through so much trauma. And then you have a story like this. Black man spits on and then stabs white mother to death at Chicago train station. Did anyone hear about that story? Nope. But Shadeur Sanders, he's going through so much. He only made a few $1 million and he's going to the NFL and someone prank called him. And it's like we have innocent people getting killed and no one even talks about it.
Yep. So I couldn't care less, but I'm not surprised that the whole machine is whirring up and going on about racism or something. And then they're defending like, the whole weird thing is an arrogant, flashy, cocky, self-centered kid, and then that's part of black culture. That's a certain part of, like, black people universally come out to defend that.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, I think if a white kid did it and was a total asshole and was flexing his grill, and his dad was like an oil company CEO, and he had a grill, and he started doing all that shit, I would equally hate him.
That's what they do with Baby Gronk. They make fun of Baby Gronk all the time.
I don't think Baby Gronk's exactly a good example. He's like a little kid manipulated by his dad into social media who's not even going to be good. He'll play D3 football somewhere.
All right, let's move on to our migrant section. Before we do, we have a very special message from Farmer Bill. Guys, a recent study shows that 90% of Americans are not hitting their daily protein threshold. If you're a show watcher, you need to be strong and you need to be hitting your protein goals. But that's not always easy when you're working hard and on the go. Well, Farmer Bills has your back. Boost your T levels, stay full longer, and hit your daily protein goals with Farmer Bill's air-dried biltong. All other beef companies lace their beef with soy and lab chemicals, but Farmer Bill is a show watcher and knows what's up. No soy, no MSG, no nitrates, and no artificial flavors. His meat snacks are cured with apple cider vinegar, sea salt, and herbs and spices. Me and Richard Rappway are constantly eating these on the go because they are the cleanest snack out there. Grab some today and use the new code FLECKUS20 at checkout for 20% off. That's the biggest discount I've seen from Farmer Bill to date. I recommend the bestseller bundle because you get 4 packs of the sliced biltong, original and spicy chili flavor, a half-pound slab, and 2 grass-fed tallow bombs, which are great to keep your skin moisturized and healthy. FLECKUS20 is the new code. It's linked in the description. Thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring. Let's get into the final page of housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
All right, thank you, Farmer Bill.
We love you, Farmer Bill. Thank you. All right, next, we are in our migrant section. We have a bust that happened where 100 illegals were rounded up, and here's where it gets interesting. There was active duty military working as security at the underground nightclub.
Jonathan, give us some perspective here. 300 law enforcement officers. What brought about this kind of requirement, this kind of need to be here with that show of force?
So this is an underground illegal nightclub, okay? And what was happening inside was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence. We seized a number of guns in there. We had active duty service members who were running security at the club and involved in some of these crimes. And in fact, we had over 100 illegal aliens inside as well, and those over 100 illegal aliens were taken into custody by ICE.
Good.
Yeah.
Round them up. I like when they get round up in big groups like that.
Me too. And this is one of those effects where you arrest a judge or you go in and raid the New Jersey governor's house who just openly admitted that he's hosting an illegal alien in his backyard. These kind of have a chilling effect. Let's go to the underground club with all our, gordas and sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and then they all get snatched up and they're literally getting deported if you're illegal.
In the outfit you were wearing.
Yeah, in the little gay outfit that you were wearing. Watch this guy. You see him? Little gay twink boy next to the fat chick.
With his butt out.
Disgusting.
You go back to El Salvador like that.
They just dump you in the street. But that sort of chilling effect where, you can't have an illegal alien party in America anymore. The chances are that you get snatched up they used to be 0. And now they're not even high enough. We're, us, we're still demanding more. but they're above zero. And I like that kind of effect because you guys can't forget we're in power, right? At the federal level. And this was in Colorado Springs. They're not cooperating. The feds have to go in and do this on their own, which I'm very glad they are. But we're reacting to like a $20 million illegal alien pump that just happened. So yeah, we're going to need to go raid some places, and we're going to need to catch some people off guard and send them back.
Exactly. And we do have some numbers. ICE has arrested and deported an estimated 100 to 150,000 illegals in the past 4 months. Got to get those numbers up.
Need more.
And remember, there was the MS-13 guy, the Maryland dad, and then his wife would post pictures of him and then post the emojis to cover his MS-13 tattoos.
Yeah, we never really talked about that on the show, but his wife's Instagram stories, it'd be like him with his arm over her shoulder, and then she'd post hearts over where his knuckle tattoos were.
Just random hearts.
Yeah.
So we found another guy who got arrested in Denver from Venezuela, and he's in Tren de Agua. So they did the same thing. They put the emojis over his gang tattoos.
Yep. He's a lovely guy. If you cover the tattoos of the skull and teeth and money bag and tears and alien, he's a lovely guy. He's here to pick your strawberries.
He's just like anyone else in America.
He's going to clean your toilets.
Your grandparents came to America, didn't they?
Yeah,
same thing. And obviously when they come here, they work and get whatever jobs they can. And we mentioned this on a few episodes ago. A lot of them are trucking and not qualified. They wear flip-flops. They don't know what they're doing. They don't speak English.
Yeah, they barely speak or read English.
So we have another guy who just got into a big wreck, and he does not look like an American truck driver.
Watch him communicate what happened in the wreck.
It's great. You okay? For sure. Yeah. I was coming this way, and I see the whole thing. It's crazy. You tried to swerve, yeah, but couldn't. Wow.
Oh. I didn't realize that's what happened. He was trying to...
It's so clear. It's so obvious in hindsight. It was one of these.
Yeah.
And at least he's wearing shoes.
Yeah, that's good.
Not flip-flops.
And then Trump came out with an expected executive order that ensures truck drivers are qualified and proficient English speakers, which is already a rule in the books, but hopefully they do it.
It already is. And then I think we covered on the episode where we went into the trucking stuff about Arkansas doing random stops. The state was doing random stops and having someone read a card and then write back down on it. So yeah, that's already a rule. We just need enforcement. And there's so many of these people... And some of them could be smart, you know? Maybe this guy's smart and back home he was a doctor or something. I don't really care. You have to read, you have to communicate, and you have to understand the responsibility that comes with, you know, how much does a truck weigh? A fully loaded truck, 80,000 pounds?
Tons.
Some insane thing. It's like a responsibility, and you have to always be like planning where you'd bail out or, you know, how to avoid killing 10 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in order for us to understand that you know that responsibility, you have to communicate in English, right?
Exactly.
So we got another one we'll just play in the background, but it's the same thing. It's a pile up with a foreign-looking driver, a trucking company that you don't know about. And we had previously discussed that they used third-party, all these big companies use third-party truckers whose standards are lower than theirs, so that the liability is like once removed from the megacorp.
And then when they crash, then they just like close that company down and open a new company.
They have the minimum liability insurance, and if they get into a big wreck that maxes out that liability insurance, they fold it up and dump it. So hopefully we make some progress here because, again, this is one of those things like Spain, Portugal, lights out example. This is our infrastructure. These are important pieces of America, and these are jobs that Americans could be working that are, you know, the standards are lowering, they're getting cheaper, and, you know, that's only good if you're buying cheap plastic shit or, you know, cheap even groceries. But these are jobs that should be in American hands who are capable and can, you know, withstand when they do something wrong, you know, and it can explain themselves.
Exactly. All right, our last clip from our migrant section is from Ireland. Obviously, Ireland's dealing with a ton of African migrants, and everyone's fed up. Yeah. There was a protest in the streets of everyone being fed up. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yep.
So people are out in numbers. That's what everyone needs. We are now moving on to our final page of housekeeping where I can say whatever. Make sure you guys tickle and juice, like the post, comment again. P.O. Box, notifications, old episodes, group chat.
Okay.
I'm lazy with it. Yeah. All right. We have an interesting final page of housekeeping. I'm not going to cut it, even though this is going long. So we're just going to do it.
Okay.
First, we have a bunch of AI thumbnails that were sent in by you guys.
Yeah.
There's a black version of us.
Mm-hmm.
There's
body swapped. Body swapped.
No, I don't think it's body
it's a
swap.
one-for-one body swap trade.
I don't know what that is. I think that's just me looking jacked at the end of my my fitness goals, and then there's you reverting back to how you used to be just
Attorney
a few weeks
General
ago.
Barr. Attorney General Barr.
There's you as AG Barr. Next, we have us as leftists. That was pretty funny. Us as Indians. That's pretty funny too. There's us as Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
That was a good one. We kind of are those color schemes.
Yeah.
We kind of are Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
I watched Ben Affleck on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and it's like, oh, Ben Affleck. I never see him in this setting. And he was just boring.
Really?
Yeah. He seems like a chill guy.
It's hard, man. Sometimes people get
He's just a normal guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a normal guy.
Smart and whatever. But
sometimes people get set up like I feel bad sometimes because he's probably was it recent?
He's promoting Accountant
The Accountant too. So it's like you go on a press tour and you kind of sit down and you rip a nice coffee and you're just like, all right, I'm doing this obligation, you know, as opposed to wanting to podcast or having something to talk about.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, all right, whatever. So
I like him.
sympathize.
I hope he's a show watcher. Yeah. Someone made Oyster Boy. That's me.
Okay.
And then here's you again, 1-for-1. Not even a body swap. That's just you as Antifa.
Yeah, it's okay to punch Nazis. He's me.
Come punch us.
Come fucking do it, buddy. You'll go practice falling down. I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, go practice spitting your teeth out. I'm on my way over.
All right.
That was the beginning of our final page. Now we're in.
Can I just jump in here? What you've produced here is one of the worst pages of housekeeping, final pages I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm going to let you cook, but I just wanted to get that out on the record. This is one of the craziest.
Yeah.
Okay?
So, as you guys know, I have a cooked algorithm. I have a lot of schizo stuff on my Instagram. I'm in these pockets that people don't even know exist where there's like one like and it's like a crazy schizo person. So I'm going to give you guys a little taste of my timeline, and we're going to go through and I'm going to show you some things that I come across in my algorithm, which is fully cooked. This first group is a band that sings about Atlantis.
We are Imperial Age, the descendants of Atlantis. And this song is about our great lost homeland.
All right. They're having fun. And you sing about something.
Okay.
All right, next, these Asian people, we'll let it play. They'll eat anything. That's the takeaway. These Asian people eat anything.
Okay.
All right, next is actually not even that schizo. It makes a lot of sense.
Smash cans on the road are remnants of a covert alien experiment. The extraterrestrials are testing human resilience by subtly interfering with daily life. Each crush can represents a tiny glitch in their simulated reality, and those who notice them are said to be awakening to the truth. The mystery deepens with every dented aluminum artifact.
I did know about that.
Okay, good.
Dented aluminum has like codes in it sometimes.
Okay.
And then next, this person is one of the examples I mentioned where they have like 0 likes and they are convinced that they're being gang stalked by people all day.
It says a man without a face has been circling my home in this van all day. And it's just a silhouette.
But, I mean, we can't be sure that this person's wrong. I didn't see a face.
Okay.
All right, next is this guy. I think his name's Ray Diaz. I follow him, and he gets 0 likes on every post, and this is the type of stuff he posts.
You know, my family is from Campito, bitch, and East Mesa, way over there where Gracie lives. I told Courtney, you don't know who the fuck I am, pinche gringuito. Why don't you go get Nicky and have him put your little bitch to sleep? Jet pushed me into that horse trainer. Fuck you.
Like, expects you to keep track of like 6 characters in his life. It's all like self-referential. Past crimes. Someone pushed me into a horse trailer. This is what Flecka sees, and then he watches the whole thing. This is what he scrolls, and he goes, oh, okay, this could be good.
All right. Next, there's another dog fight. We're going to fast forward the front of it. This is this is a different dog fight than before.
Yeah, but it's at the same park, I think.
And it looks like the same dog.
German Shepherd again.
So, it's a dog fight. It's unfortunate.
Snatched a
and
little
everyone's
dog
getting
up.
dragged into it. That lady's just getting dragged into a dog fight.
All right.
That was pretty good.
Okay.
And then our final piece of housekeeping is a rare Trump.
I just want to thank you very much. Taekwondo is a great sport, and it's also something that, especially in a world like it is today, it's something that you need for protection and for many other reasons. But let's talk about it as a sport.
We get it. It's just a rare Trump in a gi or whatever.
I missed this. This was like in 2021 or 2022. They awarded him an honorary black belt in Taekwondo.
I didn't realize. I thought it was recent.
No, I missed it.
It just went viral again the other day. And I was thinking about something when it comes to Japanese people. I was at the beach the other day and I saw a heron.
Okay.
Those long like stork birds, and he was moving so slow, and then he would like strike. He was very patient. He was very disciplined. And I know that the Japanese have herons in their society, and it's all in their art. The art is all of birds and those white birds, whatever, those stork type things.
Okay.
And I was wondering if those birds are slow and patient and very like methodical and thought out, and that's how Japanese people are too. They're patient and they're slow and they do the right thing, however. Disciplined. Do you think they got that from herons?
No. 0% chance they got that.
You don't think they
from
got
birds.
that from their natural environment and
Nope.
then they act a certain way based on the environment and how the things in their environment act?
Not at all, brother.
Not at all? All right. I wanted to maybe see if there was a chance. All right. That's the end of housekeeping. It was a long housekeeping. My voice is feeling good.
No, it sounds like shit.
But it's better than it was in the beginning. We're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is a woman experiencing trans joy.
I must be doing something right today because a man in a sporty car just swung by, opened up his window, and asked me if I had a number he could call. Apparently, he thought I was a call girl walking around just being myself, which I thanked him for the compliment and let him know I wasn't that kind of girl, but I find that pretty hilarious, really.
Yeah, first of all, that didn't happen.
You're not that kind of girl. That's also not true.
And also, if you're getting like catcalled by people and you're this person, it's not a great clientele.
Yeah, it's like weird, porn-addled, deep in the internet sickos.
Sickos.
Who would possibly catcall you even though your story was fake.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's funny, too, because this man is obviously trying to become a woman, and then because someone thought he was a hooker, he thinks that that's reaffirming because that's what a woman is. A woman is a prostitute.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'm like any other lady. Just
He's porn-brained. You're porn-brained. You have male pattern baldness as a woman.
Yeah. So it's like your definition of a woman is like flawed fundamentally because you're being misconstrued as a prostitute. You think that's good. Yeah. And then someone posted this about organ donating and maybe the darker side of the organ donating industry.
This guy posted, he said, my new vaginal canal is going to be partly made of alloderm, which is made of sterilized tissue from human cadaver skins, which is so effing cool and cyberpunk. And so imagine you're a cadaver and you've signed the organ donor thing and then somebody's using your back skin to make a man's vagina.
Yeah, I am not an organ donor anymore.
Ogre donor?
An ogre doning.
Yeah?
I don't believe in it anymore after reading that.
Yeah, that is a red line. That is a red line that they have crossed. And I think Alex Jones used to be big on, they were killing organ donors. They'd go to the hospital and they'd kill you if you were an organ donor.
Well, that's
he used to say that?
Yeah, that's what he used to say. And they do that in China. So if you're like a really rich millionaire or billionaire in China or anywhere in the world outside of America, and maybe some sketchy Americans too, and you're like, ooh, I'm this blood type, I need this type of liver or kidney or heart, in China, they'll just go find the person who has it and kill him and take it out. So there is like a very dark organ harvesting Chinese industry.
For sure.
All right, our next clip is about a woman who quit her job because of a disagreement with her boss.
You want to know how against Trump I am? I got a fucking job, living in my car, okay, no address, bitch, all right? Found out that my fucking employer voted for Trump, and guess who quit? I did. And then, okay, had this fucking guy, like, all interested in me because I'm hot and young, okay, cool, and was like, I have this fucking room that you can stay in for a fucking cheaper rate, blah, 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 blah. Found out he was a fucking Trumpy, and guess who decided to stay in her fucking car? Me, because that's how against I am of that orange fucking dictator.
Good. You live in your car now and you have no job because of Trump. Enjoy.
I know.
There you go.
This isn't the own you think it is. You're so committed to your values that I'm still living in my car and jobless. Take that, Trump.
Gotcha, Trump. And all those people that like hired you, or they dodged a bullet.
And they don't have your political beliefs, but were willing to help you out. And you just go, nah, in the car. I'll go to the rest stop still. I got the Anytime Fitness pass for showering.
Yeah, she would have caused those guys big problems if she stayed employed.
I agree.
And keep in mind, this woman falls under probably the mentally unwell category. And these are older stats, but I feel like they're probably even worse lately. 50% of young liberal women have been diagnosed with a mental health condition. That's as of 2020. So I don't feel like those numbers have improved.
I'm living in my car. You know, I just keep all the cans. I keep all the wrappers. They could come in handy later. She becomes like a hoarder type in a little car.
Yeah.
But I'm not fucking with Trump. I'm not doing anything with Trump. And the mental health declines and the cycle continues.
All right, our next clip is of a fat eater, but because I'm in day 16 of keto,
okay,
I'm actually going to watch this with an open mind and from a place of envy as opposed to just making fun of this person.
Everything I eat in a day as a fat girl who does whatever the fuck feels right for me. For breakfast, I'm having dumplings with faux broth.
Yep, whole bucket of dumplings. Slurp
For
that.
snack, I'm having 3 of these mini veggie spring rolls.
Veggie, there's
For lunch,
veggies.
I'm having boiled eggs and strawberries with spicy brown mustard.
Boring. Let's order Burger King.
This combo is so good, it tastes like egg salad. And a tablespoon of this has 5 calories. For dinner, I'm having pasta salad and garlic chicken.
We get it. The dinner, why don't you just eat worse shit?
You're already fucking disgusting. Why don't you blow it out?
Like grilled chicken, pasta salad. Just order Burger King. Eat a pizza.
Clearly, that's what you're doing when you're not filming your day in the life of what I eat.
Yeah, don't try to like soften it. Just go all in.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, I'm in day 16 of keto. It feels great. You do miss stuff, you know? I would love a slice of pizza. I would love the entire pizza. I would love to order Thai-am. I would love to have Chinese food. I would love to have a chicken cutlet on a hero with American cheese, bacon, lettuce, Thousand Island, and hot sauce.
Yeah, I'm constantly thinking about desserts. I'm constantly thinking of cinnamon rolls.
Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is forget that thought and then wait until that thought's not thought anymore. And now you're still in keto.
Yeah, and this goes back, this video, this day
Cobbler.
Yeah. Upside down cake and shit. Yeah, but this video goes back to the, like, don't let fat people ever tell you, like, life is hard. They had a good run, and they were enjoying it. Dumplings for breakfast, big bucket of dumplings for breakfast. Real fat fuck shit.
Slurp it up.
Go crazy. That's the first, you roll out of bed, you're eating dumplings, you're heating up the dumpling pile from last night.
I respect that so much.
That's fun. That's fun. And, you know, there's interesting, because this girl's really fat, right? And she's really fat to the point where her skin's breaking out. She's eating a really horrible diet. She's got zits. And, like, she nuked herself. This is like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who nuked herself. She's gone. You know, and there's only so many blonde, blue-eyed people on Earth. There's only so many redheads. You just nuked one, right? But they do these shame-free what I eat in a day videos. And I'm telling you, I've picked. I've been heavy. I've picked. I was an offensive lineman. You want to chime in?
Still an offensive lineman.
Still pigging. Has pigged. Will pig again. There are days that she's not filming. Like, she does this pretend I don't have shame and I'm filming this. There are days where she wouldn't even dare pick up the camera for what she did.
Yeah, she showed like 2,400 calories there.
Yeah, I'm talking pizza. I'm talking 6,000 calories in a day. A smoothie with like an extra squirt of like pure sugar.
Oh, it's so good.
So she goes crazy. But yeah, wasted person, you know?
Yeah, dumplings for breakfast.
Yeah.
Really, that's great.
Here's me eating a hard-boiled egg with 5-calorie mustard.
You
Fuck off.
Yeah.
You're 300.
Don't even eat that.
Yeah, skip it. Get the Burger King. You're already
Get
there.
Cake. Is there cake around? And then also, you could have had that eggs with the mustard and the strawberries for breakfast.
Yeah.
That would have started your day off, like, better.
No dumplings.
Yeah, no bucket of dumplings. All right, next.
That's my main point. There's a level of shame that most of these people what I eat in a day as a fat, that they won't even show you.
Yeah.
They're really ashamed of the dark days.
And your point about how, like, they got themselves to that point and enjoy it, it's not like they got blown up in Iraq.
Yeah, it's not like an IED, a roadside IED.
Yeah, we were
hit
just
your
going.
Humvee. I'm 300 now. Holy shit. Wake up in a hospital. Beep, beep. You've been in a coma for 2 weeks. You're 300 now. No, you had a fucking sweet ride. You ate all the Domino's.
Yeah. Beep, beep. You've been ordering the 555 deal from Domino's weekly.
This chart here says you ordered Papa John, then drove to Chipotle.
All right, let's get to our next section of Cringe, which is a bad workers section. We have like just fast food workers that are not holding the line and not working to corporate company standards. This first one is a Taco Bell in Miami.
This Taco Bell drive-thru, no Spanish, no service.
Excuse me, I'm trying to order food and no hay nadie que hable inglés.
Alexandra Montgomery thought it was a joke and pulled out her camera.
Okay, but I want to order food. No hay nadie que hable inglés. Te puedes mover,
That
por
doesn't
favor.
make any
No hay
sense.
nadie que hable inglés.
You're not
Llama la
making
policía.
any sense.
Okay.
It was 10:30 Wednesday night. Montgomery went to this Taco Bell at 785 East 9th Street in Hialeah. The employee tells Montgomery that this is Hialeah, to move on. There are cars behind her, and even gives her the address of another Taco Bell.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean nothing because this is Hialeah. But this is America. You understand?
But hey, that's the cost of authentic Mexican food. You know, no speaking English, but I'm sure the cheesy gordita crunch is the best and you can't get it anywhere else.
Yeah. That's authentic Mexican food shipped from a central location to Taco Bell's in a plastic bag, heated in boiling water. That's the price you pay. You got to speak Spanish.
Yeah, we have to open the border.
And it's so funny because there's this clearly like a Spanish and a English speaker can get an order done. But she's just like, you're not making any sense. Like, you could say number 6. You could do this. Like, you could get it done.
Or like cuatro. Like, you know a little bit of Spanish,
Yeah.
right? Everyone knows a little bit of Spanish. You could say the item name, cheesy gordita crunch. They know what that is.
There's no word for cheesy gordita crunch in Spanish, isn't it? It's just cheesy gordita crunch, queso-y or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does piss me off though. And then like, who doesn't know English in America? Are these de facto illegal immigrants? Right? So,
Yeah.
Tom Homan, please.
Tom, Hialeah.
Hialeah Taco Bell. There's probably only 2 of them, maybe.
Head there now.
Start going.
All right, next we have an Amazon worker who, after delivering a package, stole a birthday cake. Oh, shit. There's a birthday cake.
I'm hungry right now.
Yep.
That looks like sweets. Probably ain't no camera here, except there is. And he's off.
And he's off.
And it was a girl's sweet 16 birthday cake. Nice, sweet young girl. Cake stolen by a African-American Amazon worker.
And it wasn't someone walking their dog on the street or walking by like some hoodlum. It was an Amazon worker who works for a company.
It's an Amazon worker who works for a company. His cell phone is being tracked. Every move he makes is being tracked and optimized by a delivery algorithm. They know exactly where he was and what shift he was on. And eventually they'll go, hey, Amazon, your guy stole my cake. And they'll go, that was Anthony Pennyworth.
At 1:44 p.m.
We have it too.
Yeah.
So dumbass employees. The people who only speak Spanish, less dumb. We're getting into the more really retarded, low-level employees here. And I don't know, there used to be like we talked about the degraded social trust. There used to be at least like, that guy's honest or he'll try, and they won't outright steal from you. They won't outright put you in danger. And that's the next clip from Chipotle here.
Yeah, these Chipotle black youths at Chipotle.
They come and press the ops, and he happens to be working at Chipotle.
What's up? What's up, cuz? That's all that shit you was talking, cuz. Don't catch on me.
What you on?
What you on?
What you on?
Yeah. Caught your ass at the gig, boy. Something.
Where you going?
Yeah. Stop playing with me, boy.
So the guy pressing pulls out the gun. The guy working at Chipotle pulls out his gun. And now you're in danger at Chipotle because of some of the extracurricular activities the workers are doing outside of work.
Yeah, and you're deciding between pinto and black beans, and all of a sudden shots ring out because some social media dumbest beef you've ever heard. You know, can you even imagine the origins of a beef like this? You stepped on my Jordans. You disrespected me on Facebook Live. Like the dumbest shit you could ever imagine, and now everybody at Chipotle is in danger. And so that's who is filling some of these shitty jobs. They're like, there's no direction in their life. And then if I'm a Chipotle manager, this woman kind of backing them up saying, don't let them get a rise out of you. It's like, okay, they're gone. You're obviously fucking fired. Yeah. You brought a gun to Chipotle and got intimidated with it.
But what could make you press your ops like that? You drunk drove and killed my cousin in a car wreck yesterday.
Social media clout. It's literally something as easy as social media clout. Whereas you, it would be like, you have my daughter locked in a basement now. Yeah. I would go press you. Them, it's like, you disrespected me on Facebook
And
Live.
someone made an interesting point about Chipotle and how it's declined over the years. Can you give that a read?
Well, Chipotle just reported, we're in earnings season right now for the stock market, and Chipotle just reported its worst sales growth, like same-store sales since the pandemic. And stock was down. It's not that huge of a deal, but the economy's kind of slowing a little bit. Consumer spending is getting tighter. And this guy quote tweeted that chart, and he said, Chipotle was great until the late 2010s, when every single one of them became staffed with retarded Dominican-looking people of color and black guys with neck tattoos who play rap music in the kitchen. Now they're dirty and loud, quickly becoming black-coded. No business recovers from this.
Time to keep shorting.
I actually agree with that. I've seen the downfall of Chipotle, and you come into a Chipotle, and it's like, the employees are all beleaguered and everyone looks like, and there's probably a white manager usually, but everyone looks tired. And then like there's a ton of salsa and cheese on a table. Like they don't wipe down the table. There's no lids for the size of soda you have. I totally agree with the downfall of Chipotle, and it used to be very nice.
And the Chipotle workers are mad that they're working at Chipotle. Like, this job sucks. Like, I'm out of here at 11 o'clock on the dot. No, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And that's an attitude. And it's like, all right. What's going to happen to the business?
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, I'm not going to go to Chipotle anymore. I'll go to a higher end place where people enjoy the work they do, like Chick-fil-A.
Or at least a customer service focused like Chick-fil-A. Like, Chick-fil-A is known for that.
Yeah, like Chick-fil-A. But then Chick-fil-A is starting to look like this.
They spitting in the food. They not washing their hands.
Girl, I got it. It's going.
It's me outside. I'm outside every day, and you've got all these other people just sitting there looking fucking stupid. Just looking fucking stupid. I'm getting my fucking ride so I can go. And I'm filing a fucking complaint. All y'all white ass fucking people sit me outside. Y'all do that shit all the time.
About racism.
All you white ass fucking people, and she's the one freaking out in a store.
Thanks, Obama.
I wish a police officer would kind of kneel on her neck or something.
Oh yeah, restrain her.
let's calm down. Let's get
police
her calm down.
protocol restraint.
Yeah, something.
All right, well that's the end of our bad worker section. We're now moving on to Urban Decay. It was kind of a transition segment.
Yeah, to be honest, it's pretty much extended Urban Decay.
Yeah, and Urban Decay is going to get a little ugly. Nothing crazy, but our first clip is cops trying to arrest some young black women, and it does not go well.
pack of hyenas.
Scared for their life. Police is hunting us. This is how you act when you know there's no consequences. Like, there's multiple times they're shoving the cop.
Yeah.
And like back when I grew up, that you never touch a cop. You touch the horse, you go get arrested. That's touching a cop.
Yeah, and he doesn't pull out pepper spray. He doesn't pull out a baton. He just repeatedly tries to push them back, and they still keep coming. And he reluctantly arrests this other girl after she does an overhand swing at him.
He didn't want to even do that.
So this is like one of the weird things that's happening where, you know, we've shown a ton of videos of the cops who like don't want to shoot. Like someone's driving the car at them and they're like, I really don't want to do this, like riding the hood of the police car. There's like a leeway that exists with black, you know, violent resistors.
And it's the opposite of what we're told.
That they enjoy a lot more leeway than what we're told.
But we're told that cops are targeting black people because they're racist and trying to arrest black people. But meanwhile, they're trying their best to not engage with force or arrest black people in general. Next story is out of Philadelphia. Wanted suspects for multiple Temple University campus assaults in the 22nd district. It's all young urban youths.
Yeah, look at these kids. And this is on a college campus. They're terrorizing Temple, multiple campus assaults. And these look like the kids who sell you candy bars for their basketball team.
Yeah, for their fake basketball team.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, we actually saw one. Remember when we were out to lunch that day? And
yeah.
We saw the kids. They kind of were walking around with candy. They came up, all these black kids, right? And then some lady was nice enough to give them the time of day. She's sitting at the nice restaurant. And she goes, oh, yeah, sure. Pulls out $5, gives it to like one of the kids. There's 3 kids.
Doesn't even take candy. Just gives them $5.
Doesn't take candy, gives them charity. And then like a next kid comes up and goes like, my turn to get $5. And she's like, oh, that's all I have. I'm not doing any more than that.
And he was like mad at her.
Yeah, it was pathetic. So
very pathetic.
You don't give money to those kids, man. They ruined it. And these are them. They're assaulting people on Temple's campus now.
All right, exactly. All right, moving on. Our next clip needs a little bit of context before we play it. This white guy in Seattle is walking into his apartment complex. He buzzes in or does his code to get in, and then a black teenager comes in behind him, doesn't put his code in, and gets in with him. And the guy calls him out. It even gets physical at a certain point. We're going to let that play, and then we'll tell you what we think after.
Do you want me to give you my apartment number? Are you security? This is insane. If you live here, let yourself in. So you can look me in the choke. Doing this. I'm just trying to get you to buzz in to show me you live here. Oh, you are in some shit, man. That's cool. Why couldn't you have just done this downstairs?
Here's my apartment. Here's my apartment.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Why couldn't you just do it downstairs like
security?
I asked you to?
So he shows him the apartment, and this is like a big piece of evidence of racism. A white guy tries to restrain you because you're sneaking into his apartment complex, and everyone knows when you're entering your apartment complex, especially at night, you don't hold the door for people you don't recognize. If it's an old lady with groceries and a yappy dog that you see all the time, yeah, let her in, hold the door. But you don't let people in you don't know, especially based on the stats, young black men with backpacks.
I would avoid.
So this guy's getting like not special treatment, I guess, because he didn't have to plug his thing in, and he's mad that this guy's asking him questions. But reality is you should buzz in. You should use your key fob. You should put your code in. Everyone should, just to keep the place safe. What if you let someone in who is stealing, and then what? This white guy would get in trouble for holding the door.
Or at least he would feel guilty that he lost several of his neighbor's possessions, right?
Yeah.
And that's like a standard thing. Like, I'm not holding the door open for someone who I don't know. It's a key fob. It's really easy. If you have it, it should be the easiest thing, not an issue at all. You shouldn't be coasting off me, right?
It's not about race.
Yeah.
You know?
And it kind of is. It is a little bit.
The other side.
It isn't. It is and it isn't, you know?
Like he's not, yeah, exactly. And if you want to go by the stats, which we have right here coming up in New York, we're going to go over some of the stats. You would not hold the door for certain people. But let's let the clip finish. Let the clip finish.
Why should I show you proof that I live here? Why should I show you proof that I live here?
Ask the office.
He goes, why should I show you proof that I live here? He's not like patrolling the hallways doing like the SS, like show me your papers. He just doesn't want you coasting off him. That's the funniest part. Like it becomes a weird oppositional defiant thing that we've talked about before on the show, where it's like, I'm not showing you nothing. I'm not showing you nothing. When it's really the easiest thing to solve, and you're filming it basically like looking for some sort of racial thing. All right, let's play the last 10 seconds just to see how it ends.
Oh, you put me in a chokehold, man.
You're a thief, man.
I'm a thief?
You're not a thief. I'm sorry, that came out. I didn't mean it.
After I defend him, I defend this guy.
He just goes, you're a thief, man.
And he goes, you're a thief. After you realize the kid does live there, you lost me. Come on, man. I was defending you. I was the only one defending you. Everyone in the comments is like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Can't catch a break in white America. And I defended, and then you called him a thief when he's not actually a thief. But like we said, we do have some new stats about who's doing crimes. These stats come from New York. Listen to what this guy says about public safety.
There are just over 500 gangs and crews represented in the database. It is true that 99% of the individuals in the database are people of color. It is also true that in New York City, from 2019 to 2024, 96% of the individuals arrested for shootings and 96% of shooting victims were people of color.
Okay. So based on those stats, you can adjust your worldview and go, old lady coming in with groceries, is she going to be doing gang murders? Black kid with the backpack? It's not even that hard.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks, like, in the comments, this happened in Seattle, like, oh, black people have a hard time with housing, and this is why we're kept down. Washington State introduces reparations programs so blacks can buy houses, and they're giving away $120,000 to black first-time homebuyers without any proof of direct housing discrimination.
So this has to be illegal. I hope the Justice Department does something immediately. And this weird thing about, like you said, with the kid who, I don't have to show you anything. It's like, well, you do have to scan yourself in. Like, the guy missed his opportunity to shut the door behind him. That's what I would have done. Just shut the door behind me. And then if you have the key fob, it's done. Easiest thing ever.
Oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you.
But you get mad at this white guy, right? We just saw the 99% are people of color, 96% of the shootings. You get mad at this guy when you should be getting mad at people who do the shootings.
Yeah.
That's who created racism or racial biases. It's not just like this white guy, this nerdy white tech worker in Seattle was looking to just fucking be a racist guy. You should be mad at like the people who gave that group that label, right?
That's a good point.
So,
all right, let's move on to our next story. It involves a repeat offender. Missouri firefighter, paramedic dead after being stabbed in an ambulance by patient, unfathomable crime.
Yeah, and this was in Kansas City. Just last week, Shanetta Bozell was arrested for assaulting a police officer who tried to stop her from tampering with his car. He required medical attention. Judge Luis Engels, who was appointed by a Democrat governor, let her out on $10,000 bonds. She's now charged with the murder of that fireman.
She bit the cop. That was the incident from last week.
Yeah, so she walked up to a police car, tampered with it. The cop, got involved, and then she bit the police officer, was immediately released, eventually gets picked up by police and medics again, and stabs this fireman paramedic.
Nice American man.
Look at this picture of this guy, golden retriever on the, fire truck, perfect picture, young, future ahead of him, stable job, and just some fucking mentally ill, basically retarded person comes in,
street rat,
takes your life because one too many times some leftist was trying to be nice and let her out.
Yeah, exactly.
Really makes you sick.
Makes you sick. And then someone was defending her on Facebook. Can you read that?
Nah, y'all not about to do Shaw Boss like that. She was quiet, didn't bother people, loved her kids, and went out her way to make sure they had everything they needed. Never talked bad about people and looked out for the real ones. Also, if you tried her, she stood up for herself. I know her personally, and nobody's perfect. Yeah, she had demons she was fighting, but what black woman don't? I know her, and I know she ain't STB this dude for nothing, stab this dude for nothing. She was 100% sure she was in danger. I'll never not stand up for a good black woman, never. whatever happened, she was triggered and felt threatened.
Felt threatened by the paramedic helping her.
On duty, doing his job.
In an ambulance with a golden retriever.
Real high IQ population we're talking about here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to our next example of high IQ population. Joy Reid blames white people for the downfall of Rome and eventually America.
Each community on earth. If you take that away and try to distill us just down to white folks, we'll be like Europe, an aging, slowly dying former empire. The Roman Empire didn't survive because it didn't have enough strength in its diversity. It suppressed its diversity and it died. If the U.S. wants to be the Roman Empire, keep voting the way you're voting, y'all. Keep voting for people.
Yeah, so which is weird because I thought Rome's downfall, or at least part of it, was because they expanded and opened their borders to a lot of foreigners and put a lot of foreigners in positions of power, especially in the military, that weren't loyal to Rome foundationally. And that eventually degraded the culture and the community aspect of it, and then it fell apart.
Yeah.
So it's weird that she's saying it's the opposite, it's diversity. And then we have a meme, Rome 2,000 years ago. Very nice building. That's probably still somewhat standing today. And then Africa.
That's the Pantheon, right?
Yeah, the Pantheon. And then Africa like an hour ago. So that's what the difference is. But there is a world where we can live in harmony with everybody. And here's an example of that. See, we could all live in harmony together. But unfortunately, there's some downside too. And this is what it actually looks like. This woman with 2 kids is demanding housing.
No, I ain't scaring the motherfucking thing. You're gonna give me motherfucking housing. I got 2 kids. Put it in writing. So, really quickly. Call the Department of Mental Health if you think I'm crazy. Call whoever.
I'ma ask to see what my space looks like.
No, you ain't got no space. I was the first one here. If you ain't got space for me, you ain't got space for nobody. You ain't got space for nobody. You full of shit.
You know, I'm saying for those
embezzlement, fraud. You fraud. You fraud ass motherfuckers. Fraud.
You fraud. Yep. That's unfortunately what living in harmony really looks like. Mm-hmm. And it actually gets worse. Like that woman's demanding handouts from the government and support and housing. And it's getting to the point where it's being sung about too.
It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free. Swipe your EBT. Free. Swipe your EBT. It's free. You had me to get it all. You had me to get it all. You had me to get it all. You had me.
All right, we get it.
It's free. That's their level of understanding too. It's not that
free.
It's paid for or subsidized or for people temporarily. It's just free.
Swipe your EBT. It's free. Yep. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to uplifting gold. All right, our first clip of uplifting gold is someone doing the ice bucket challenge.
You guys have 24 hours.
Which is back?
It's back, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's pretty good.
It is good.
All right, nothing crazy. It's uplifting. We're laughing now.
We're done.
You know?
The hard stuff's done.
We're not down or depressed. Yeah, we're relaxing. We're at the end of the show. Next is a bear catching fish underwater.
He's built for this shit. Look at him.
He reminds me of Jerry. He kind of looks like a dog. I think dogs and bears might be.
Look at that.
If you're a fish,
what do you even do?
Get away from the bear.
They don't see it like that.
What do you think they think it is?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
Yeah. I think there's nowhere to go. I think the bear only fishes when the river's like full with salmon. You know, they're spawning or something.
If I was a salmon, I'd go, I'm going to go the other way.
All right. Yeah. Makes sense.
All right. Next is Yosemite Firefall. There's like a certain angle at certain times of the year where the sunset happens and it hits the waterfall and it looks cool. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. That's weird.
If I saw that,
seems like they've digitally messed with it or something.
I don't get how the light stays in the water.
I think you might have gotten tricked here.
But everyone's filming it.
Yeah, and it's showing up on that guy's phone like that too.
It's crazy. Imagine you lived 10,000 years ago and you saw that. I would go, this waterfall is this area of the gods or something.
Yeah.
I would really get deceived by that.
Yosemite?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's a natural wonder.
I've never been to Yosemite.
I don't know. I think I have. Okay.
California?
Yeah, California.
Yeah. So when you went with your family or something?
I think I went with my family.
All right.
And then I think I...
Hike Half Dome?
I don't know. I think we were just driving through it, and then I jumped in the river with my brothers and my dad, and then my younger brother, Chinese donut boy, said snake, and it was like a little lizard or something. It was like a newt.
All right, bro. I just asked if you've ever been.
Yeah, and I remember getting
telling
freaked
stories
out.
and shit.
I remember getting freaked out. Thought a snake was coming. All right, next we have some history of accents in Europe.
Northern accents, so Yorkshire and Lancashire, came from the mills, and when there was loud industrial, you had to over-articulate over the sound of the conveyor belts to be heard.
Yeah.
And then you get to Liverpool, which had rotting cargo, so it stunk everywhere. So then you got to block your nose off like that. Like you're over-articulated outside, but also you don't want to breathe through your nose.
Never heard
and
that.
then Birmingham, which was the most polluted city in the world, so people have got like generational sinus infections in there today. So you learn not to breathe through there.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I guess it could contribute to a part of it.
Yeah, you speak a certain way because of the environment, and the environment is the way it is because of that time in history.
Yeah, and they say London fog, that was just coal dust, right?
Yeah.
So
it's pretty interesting.
That's the burden of being an one of the first probably industrialized nation, right?
And it's good to learn where this stuff came from, because that's where we came from, and if we forget it, it'll be easier to replace us.
Smart.
All right, next is someone living the dream. That's pretty good.
That's sick. And you know what? I'm always surprised by how little kickback an Uzi has.
Yeah.
You see that?
It's full auto. It's probably from like the 80s. That's sick.
Do you have an Uzi?
No, I have a Draco.
Oh, you used to hold the Uzi.
Yeah.
You used to borrow a friend's
It was a Mac 10.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I'm in the market. I don't want an Uzi because I don't want to support Israel.
Oh, okay.
But I am looking for a Mac 10 or a Mac 11, and I'm talking to my boys at Ape Defense about making that happen.
Similar kickback, I would assume.
Yeah, I just want a little 9mm, little block gun. Yeah. I just like guns from like the 90s gangster movies.
For sure.
AK-47s and Dracos and Uzis and Mac 11s.
Uzi's a good gun, though. They did it right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, next, there is a track meet of 82-year-olds.
This is the 80-plus category.
And I was just going to say, they were holding their position better than some of the high schoolers.
And they're moving.
Wow, down the track, 80 and older. We have a battle in the middle of the track. 3 lanes, dueling it out. And here the crowd at the Penn relays for our 80-year-old sprinters. In lane 4.
80-year-old sprinters. That's pretty cool. And that's at Penn, which is a very nice historic stadium. We've played in that.
I love that stadium. That's
Me
a nice
too.
stadium.
It's one of my favorites in America. And when I was in high school, I went to Penn football camp, and they were filming Invincible with Marky Mark.
Look at that background, towards the end there?
Yeah.
That's nice. All those old kind of like, what are those? Accessory buildings, whatever you want to call them.
And you notice
Franklin Field.
Yeah, Franklin Field.
Yeah.
And you notice that no one got stabbed at the rainy track meet.
That's crazy. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, but when I was there for Penn football camp, when I was in high school, they were shooting Invincible, and they
Mark Wahlberg, Vince Papale.
Yep, and then they filled the stadium like 40% capacity with dummies. So all week they were just loading in dummies in the stadium. It was crazy. And then by the end of the week of camp, it was like half full stadium of all these like dummies. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
All right, that is the end of Uplifting Gold.
Sounds good, brother.
And it was uplifting.
We phone it in.
Whatever.
Housekeeping's like an hour these days. We're really loose and going crazy. Whatever.
We're trying our best.
We talk about what we talk about, and if it doesn't neatly fit into a category, who cares?
Exactly, bro. It's a fun show.
We're here to have fun. We're not here to lecture you. We're not here to hit 10 minutes on each subject.
Yeah.
We're here to fuck around.
We give you a show, and the show's whatever we give you.
Eat it up.
I hope you guys like it. We love the show.
You slop pigs.
All right, we have some shout outs. Happy birthday to Steven, who turned 32 on April 25th. Him and his wife, Rachel, love the show.
Happy birthday, Steven.
And they're bonus landers. Him and Rachel.
Rachel.
Very cool.
Let her go.
Let her go, Rachel. It's from Batman. Happy birthday to Ethan, who turns 39 on April 30th. He's a bonus lander as well. Happy birthday, Ethan.
Happy birthday, Ethan.
And then happy birthday to Jerem from Tara. His birthday is on April 28th. He's a Texas-Cali cowboy.
Oh, Jerem.
Jerem.
Texas-Cali cowboy.
Very cool, Jerem.
Texas-Cali. What is that? Just on over the west side of Texas by California?
Yeah, he's like a cowboy who does California and Texas.
Texas-Cali.
I think there's some states in between California and Texas.
Oh, for sure, but I mean, close to that region, like the California.
It's a certain type of Southwest cowboy, I'm assuming.
There's New Mexico, Arizona, right? That's all it is.
Yeah, New Mexico, Arizona. Exactly. All right, we have a very special message to Sage from your sister, Ella. She doesn't want to fight with you anymore. She's sorry. It was her fault you guys got into this fight, and she got you a massive Farmer Bills order as an apology. Please call her, Sage, from Ella.
Forgive her, Sage. Sounds like Ella has repented.
Come on, you guys love the show. Your brother and sister.
Olive branch. Come on. Brothers and sisters ain't supposed to be fighting.
Yeah, especially with the way things are. You know, there's migrants.
There's migrants out there, and you're fighting?
You'd be happy to have your sister. We got migrants. All right.
God forbid a twister got your sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you'd be out.
All right, another Fleckus Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleckusTalks.com for a 30-minute bonus land. If you want 30 minutes more show, or if you want to change your schedule around so you can do Tuesday show, Wednesday bonus land, Friday show, Saturday bonus land, or something like that, you can get 4 episodes a week, basically. A lot of people are doing that. And if you're still on the fence for joining Bonus Land, we included a 1.5-minute clip here to entice you. Check it out. FleckusTalks.com is the website. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on Friday. All right, speaking of Indians.
Yeah, different kind.
This Democrat. This is one of my most favorite characters. He's kind of like someone you think AI would make.
He's like a Chappelle Show character.
Yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle playing an Indian guy who you think would...
he looks like a video game or something.
Yeah, he looks fake.
So this is what he's saying.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported...
All right, you get it. He wants to impeach Trump. He can barely speak English. He's a Democratic congressman from Michigan. Something I'm seeing a lot on Twitter these days, which I really like and find funny, is we're just ignoring people with Star Wars names. And this guy's name is Shri Thanedar.
Yeah.
Like Shri Thanedar standing over an empire. We have to go through Shri Thanedar for permission to travel the galaxy. Star Wars names. He's not an American. You can't find Thanedar in the U.S. Civil War archives. So Star Wars names, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. And then we have a meme here of him at 7-Eleven.
It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump.
He can't even speak, dude, and he's a congressman representing what part of Michigan? Dude, what's happening in Michigan?